The Elegoo H1HT is a standalone filament dryer that gets up to 85 degrees Celsius, will turn your spools, has a 3.5-inch color touchscreen, and has active vents to let humid air out during drying and automatically seal back up afterwards. Elegoo sent this over for me to take a look at, and I've been putting it through its paces the past few days. Now, usually filament dryer reviews are pretty straightforward and boring, but if you bear with me, I think this solves a lot of things wrong with other filament dryers. My name's the Legend Tuba Guy, and you're watching Tuba Makes. Let's talk about the headlines with this first. 85 degrees is no joke, and puts it up with the likes of the Bamboo AMS-HT or Sunlu E2. Neither of those are directly comparable though. The Sunlu E2 can get all the way up to 110 Celsius, and the AMS-HT acts like an AMS, which Elegoo's H1HT really doesn't. The H1HT is printer agnostic, which may be a good thing or meh thing for you. If you've got a Centauri Carbon, it would have been nice for it to communicate with the printer somehow. If you don't have a Centauri Carbon, it'll work with whatever printer you have. The next headline is the price. At the time of filming, I don't know what Elegoo will actually sell it for, but I know it has an MSRP of $70. That is a really good price for this. The color touchscreen on the front of the dryer is incredibly easy to interact with, which makes the Sunlu E2's controls and other dryers on the market feel incredibly dated. There are built-in presets for all sorts of types of filaments, but you can set whatever temp you want from 45 to 85 C and from 30 minutes to 12 hours of dry time. It also allows you to define a custom preset if the built-ins aren't exactly what you want, letting you hit one button to get the settings you usually use. By the way, this thing is quiet. I couldn't even measure it above the noise floor in my office. It is much, much quieter than a Centauri Carbon 2 printing next to it. The H1HT will automatically rotate the spool for you while drying, ensuring that heat is evenly spread across the filament in the spool. You can turn this feature off, which is what I did to print from it while drying. Elegoo sent over some PETG Pro and PETG-CF to show off the drying capabilities, but no offense, Elegoo, if you give me a dryer that hits 85 C, I'm doing nylon. So in went the PAHT-CF. I set it to 85 degrees and ran the included PTFE tube out of the hole in the lid, which is made for TPU and fiber-filled filaments, and ran that up to the Centauri Carbon 2's canvas. Now, since the last time we did hot and fast on a Centauri Carbon 2 just like your mom likes it, I've added a Panda Breath chamber heater to this machine, which works really well and brings the chamber from just around 40 degrees Celsius to right around 55 degrees Celsius while the bed is at 110. A marked improvement for printing things like nylon. I printed out this FDM test print using the standard PAHT-CF profile in Elegoo Slicer, and it came out really well. The overhangs look nice. It's just, I mean, these little tiny spindles are just, they're just too much, which is fine, but look at the rest of the part. It's really good. Having the filament being actively dried while printing and heated along with the chamber heater helps us get much better results with nylon than I've ever gotten on a Centauri Carbon. If you're not printing fiber-filled filaments or TPU, you can use the PTFE tube coupler on the lower filament port out the back, and that's what I used for this gorgeous PETG Pro in this translucent ruby to make these drawers. This emerald green PETG Pro also came out super well, and I dried both of these before printing, but the spools were brand new, and I usually have good luck with Elegoo spools being dry out of the package. So let's actually test some drying. I cut a small section of sponge and weighed it dry, then got it as saturated with water as I could, and I put it in the middle of the dryer set to 85 C and measured it at 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. At 3 hours, the sponge was drier than it started, which is good to see. The temp on the screen says we're hitting 85 C, but I wanted to validate that. I measured temps at the far end of the chamber from where the heat enters, and then right above that heat inlet. After an hour at 85 C, I measured a high temp over the vent of 90 degrees Celsius, meaning it reached 90 at some point, and the far end of the chamber reached 70 C at some point. That combined with the spool rotation is really nice to see. The H1HT has a spot for you to put the included desiccant packet, but when actively drying, we want somewhere for the hot, humid air to vent. The H1HT has 2 active vents for this, one on the bottom of the unit to let air in, and one on the back to let air out. These vents don't open right away when you first start drying, but you'll hear them click a few times to get fully open, and you'll hear them click back shut if you stop or pause drying. Drying will also pause if you open the lid, but you can also disable this feature. The case is made of polycarbonate and nylon, and the inner shell has a flame rating of UL94V-0, meaning it should be self-extinguishing within 10 seconds and can't have drips that ignite materials those drips fall onto. This is a nice touch, but I can't find UL certified markings on this or the packaging or the manual at all. So I think this means it lacks formal certification. If you're in the land of 110 volts, it's rated up to 130 watts and up to 150 watts with 220 volts. Now, I'm unwilling to set my review unit on fire to test their inner shell fire retardance claims, but I will take mine apart for you. There's just 4 screws on the bottom. It's very, very easy to take apart, and it's nice and clean inside. If you ever needed to replace like the fan or heater or stepper motor that's driving the spool rotation or the motherboard or whatever, I think it'll be really easy to get in here and replace anything that you need, which is nice to see. Just 4 screws on the bottom, this whole inner shell comes out and it goes back together. Easier when you're not trying to record a video and talk at the same time. It'll be easy, trust me. Much easier than other units I've seen. I printed out this Prusa robot torso out of some PETG-CF, and this is where I ran into just a few small things with this I wanted to mention. The spool wasn't centered perfectly on either the front or back roller and started to sort of eat or tear up the cardboard spool. I popped on some ASA spool adapter rings and that fixed that right up. This didn't happen any other time, so I think it was likely me just putting the spool off center to begin with. Elegoo does not claim this unit is airtight and suggests putting filament into vacuum storage bags after drying. I pumped the chamber full of smoke, closed the lid, and turned it on, and holy, it leaks a lot of air, especially around the handle on the lid. This won't be an issue while you're actively drying, but this would have been way nicer if I could just leave the filament in it for storage beside my printer, but with the amount of air leakage, that is not possible. So this really should be seen as just a dryer, which is unfortunate. Other than those 2 issues, this has worked perfect for me. It looks good in my opinion. It has an easy interface. Filament exiting the back is a nice change over some other models on the market. And for $70 MSRP, this is yet another good value product from Elegoo. Now, if we can just get them to make a chamber heater. I want to know your thoughts. Is this something you'd be interested in picking up? Should Elegoo have done something differently here? Let me know in the comments down below or over on the Tube and Makes Discord, where we talk all things filament, resin, and the business of selling 3D prints. I'll have an affiliate link to this in the description down below if you want to check it out. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye! I think that's it.